I am actually here. Hi. Hey, Nevermore. Hey, my darling junk shop. Uh, yeah, sorry about the boxes. We're still unpacking. It's not going to be like it was for most of last year. Well, y'all remember. It was terrible. Anyway, it's not going to be like that. We're in the new house. It's looking good. In fact, if I wasn't so short, or if I could get this chair higher, I could make it look like it was pretty neat in here, but it's not going to happen right now. So, yeah, a lot has happened, and I apologize. I don't have sources cited for tonight's little rant. I should, but I don't. So, and when I tell you what's been going on, hopefully you'll be understanding of that fact. Yeah, Nevermore. I'm doing very well. I think, considering the circumstances. Cheers. Cheers to you. Thanks for coming. I've only peeled off some of my nail polish, so not all of it. No sources. That's it. I'm out, says Junk Shop. Yeah, don't you dare. No, I was gonna look up sources. Junk Shop can back me up on this situation. So the National Guard apparently has been deployed to my fair state, our fair state, to deal with the huge wave of COVID infections that we're having due to people not being vaccinated because rednecks, y'all. I need somebody who speaks both science and redneck. And in fact, even the place where I work is attempting to do this because, yeah, hashtag fuck Bill Lee. Yes, hashtag fuck Governor Bill Lee. That's Billee. First and last name. Not Billy, but Bill Lee. And he is a jackass. Satire and humor. He's a jackass. No, that's just true. Okay. Bill Lee won't mandate masks. He will not. He won't continue to, make restaurants operate at a certain capacity. A lot of restaurants are choosing not to open their like if they have drive-throughs like McDonald's and stuff around here, they're not open for inside. You can go through the drive-thru all you want, but you can't go inside, and I think that's very smart. So my mom's in the ICU, and it looks like she might be out of the woods, but we still don't have a diagnosis. We don't know what's going on, and I'm not going to spill her personal medical shit all over the internet, but I will say I can say this now because we know this was not it now. Initially, her doctor was afraid that she was in heart failure. So my mom, very luckily, because people in Memphis have been told not to call ambulances unless the situation is exceedingly dire. And they have been, because a lot of the hospitals are at capacity. And they can't take people, and they're turning ambulances away, or ambulances are just idling with patients in the back. So anyway, my dad calls me and he's like, "Hey, Dr. Taylor thinks that your mom might be in heart failure. She's calling an ambulance." And I was like, "Okay, text me when you know what hospital." I talked to a coworker and told him what had just happened because my boss was in a private meeting and I didn't know what to do because I think I was in a little bit of shock, but also there's that part of me, like, D&D, in D&D you have alignments. I love playing chaotic good characters because chaotic good characters are generally good, but they're selective about how they're good. And sometimes, you know, they might break a law that's stupid in order to do the right thing. Right. So I enjoy that aspect of it. In real life, I'm much more lawful good. Like, not all laws are moral, but I don't like breaking any of them because I don't want to ever go to jail. There's just very much that's essentially my motivation, is I never want to go to jail. So that was a tangent. So anyway, yeah, so the thought of, and then also I was raised with sort of an ultra, you know, an overblown Southern sense of politeness, right? And so the thought of knocking on my boss's door while he was in a private meeting was just beyond the pale. Like, I couldn't do that. And I turned to my coworker and told him what my dad had just told me. And he said, just knock on the door, tell our boss what happened, and it'll be fine. Just turn around and knock on the door was literally behind me. He was like, just turn around and knock on the door. It's okay. And this is going to sound so fucked up, y'all, but I needed that. I needed that permission. I needed somebody to tell me that this was serious enough that it was okay for me to knock on the door. And as it turned out, my boss opened the door. You know, we're all wearing masks, but I said, hi, I just got a call from my father that my mom is being rushed to the hospital because she may be in heart failure. And my boss just said, go, you know, fill me in later when you can. And I was like, okay. And I packed up my shit and I left. And so I drove from Mississippi to a hospital in Tennessee, right outside of my town, in a suburb right outside of my city. And it was actually a very short drive. And I got there and I found my dad hanging out in the shade in the ER, or outside the ER, in a shady spot. And I was like, hey, what's going on? You know, and he said, well, she's in triage. We can't go in there. Aw, thank you, Nevermore. Yeah, actually, Nevermore's made a couple of good points here. So I'm going to pause my narrative and just pull them up. Yeah, a lot of idiots out there. I'm Washington State, but no masks if you're fully vaxxed, but no one asking for proof. Yeah, that's exactly how it is here. And there are people for sure, I know, like there are people I know personally who I personally know are not vaccinated and they're walking around without masks like they are. And that is a big part of the problem. And thank you. Yeah, I was in shock. 'Cause, you know, honestly, my mom has a lot of health conditions. I didn't really expect to have her around this long, but she's still my mom, right? I mean, that's my mama. You don't get two of those. I mean, yeah. I joke sometimes that my godmother is my other mom. That's my mom's best friend. Yeah, that was one of the phone calls I had to make last night. Those were fun. Got to call my aunts and my mom's best friend and let them know. Actually, I'm gonna have to call them here again in a minute and let them know that things are better. Looks like she's largely out of the woods, but we don't know what was wrong exactly. We don't know what the cause was. We don't have a diagnosis. And here's the thing. So she goes into triage, and Dad and I are just waiting. His phone rings a couple of times. It's from the hospital. They need information. They need verbal permission to do things. And at some point, it rings and they say, you know, Mr. Harry, you can... Oop, said my dad's name. Damn it. You didn't hear that. That didn't happen. We'll edit that out. Edit it out of your brains. Anyway, so they said you can come in and see her. She's in they said room 15, but it's the IC. It's the emergency room, so it's just like two curtains with like a number, right? So he gets back there and she is fighting everybody. She needs oxygen because her blood oxygen level is low, but she keeps pulling the tube out of her, the little, you know, the little double-sided thing that they put in, and the tube that goes back to the oxygen tank. She kept pulling that out of her nose because she said she couldn't breathe, and he kept trying to explain, honey, that's to help you breathe. And she was not having it. And she was in full panic. And if you've ever known anyone who has panic attacks and who also has dementia, it's a really bad combination, because in that moment, she didn't know why she was there. She didn't understand what was going on. She just knew that she wanted to get the fuck out. And she kept begging my dad to get her out of there. And she kept asking him, why are they doing this to me? Why are they doing this to me? And he would explain. He was like, well, honey, this, the doctor said, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, seconds later, she'd say the same thing. And then apparently they had to restrain her, and she was having so much trouble breathing that they sedated her and they intubated her. And at that point, they sent my dad out. Like, they got his consent to intubate if necessary, but they already had the tray there. He knew they were going to do it, but they sent him out of the room, which was probably good. He didn't need to see that procedure done. Part of me is kind of like, Mom's kind of a badass, because, she's this frail, older, they're 79, or they're gonna be. At the end of the month, they'll be 79. That's something else I shouldn't say. Junk Shop's gonna freak out. But anyway, they're gonna be 79, and it's like, wow, or they're gonna be 80. I forget, honestly. I lose track sometimes. But yeah, they're older, but she has some fight in her when she wants to. And as Dad put it later, they got her Irish up, and she was just not having any of it. So I was like, we're outside, and he's describing this experience to me as we're standing in the shade outside the ER, and it's still, Tennessee in the summer, and it's getting hot, and we don't know what to do really, because she's still in the ER. They're still figuring out what's going on. We don't know anything. So we go sit. Eventually, once we both start to get kind of drippy, we're like, hey, I was like, Dad, can we go sit in my car or your car, and we'll just really waste some fossil fuels? Hang on. All right. Fair enough. Coming from someone married to one of her offspring, yes, that is fair. When she wants to, that bloody woman is 100% all fight. Yes, she is. It's the only reason she's still alive. Jesus. Anyway, so that, and she doesn't smoke and she doesn't drink. So there you go. If that's any consolation to anybody. If there's any teetotalers listening to this, hey, you're doing your liver a favor. Be good. But yeah, a lot of fight. So we sit in Dad's car, burning fossil fuels for no good reason, which bothers both of us. Like, neither of us likes doing that. But we don't know, they had just called him, to go inside, and we don't know if they're going to call him to go inside again or not. And finally I have a call of nature. So I'm like, okay, look, I have to go find a place. I'm going to go jump in my car, find a public restroom, and I'll be back. And at this point, I've contacted my big brother. He set up a family text so that everybody can get updates. He's talked to his HR people where he works, and he's got, hey, harmonica man. Oh yeah, it can be a struggle. It can be a struggle for sure. Good on you though. Good on you. Let me know how it goes. So anyway, I find a deli that's open, and I can't just walk. I worked in the service industry for too long. I can't go into a place, use the restroom, and not buy something. So I get a Reuben for Dad, and I get a veggie for me, and then I go back, and by the time I get back to from like across the street, shopping complex to the hospital, I go to knock on Dad's window so he can let me into the car, and my brother's there in my seat, but that's okay. No, it wasn't my seat. He's in the passenger seat. So I'm like, sorry, didn't know you'd be here so soon, didn't get you anything, and he's cool with it. He's always sweet. So we sit in the car, we eat. I was like, put something in your stomach, Dad. It's just in case. Like, neither of us felt like eating, but it turned out to be a good thing, because we were hungry, and anyway, sorry. Okay, too many too many weird gaps in this story. So, incredibly long story short, about 5 hours later, we're back in that same deli. We've been in the deli for over 2 hours. It's getting really cold because it's air conditioned really well, which normally I would love, but I was now freezing. And I still had on like my steel-toed work boots and my, some of my arm guards. I still had like PPE on from work. And because I came straight from there, and I just took off my hard hat and my safety glasses. Like, everything else was still on. And we've hung out in this deli for so long, and I just can't. You know how before COVID, when, goodness forbid, someone you loved was in the hospital, you'd all go to the hospital and you'd wait in a waiting room and you'd hang out, and you could be there to emotionally support each other, even if half the time you were buried in your phone or had your face in a book, which is what I usually do. That's usually my coping mechanism. But, but we couldn't do that because of COVID and because people won't get fucking vaccinated. We couldn't do that. So I just felt even more useless than you've ever felt in a hospital waiting room. And just ponder that for a second. Because we've all felt useless in hospital waiting rooms. But this was worse. And I finally told my dad, I was like, Dad, I don't want to be a terrible daughter, but I gotta go. I can't be this anxious in public and this worried, and it's getting near 6 o'clock at night. I got here at 11:30 in the morning, and we still don't know any more than we did, other than at that point she'd been transferred to the intensive care. Oh, no, she hadn't. I'm sorry, she had not. So at that point we didn't know anything more. And I said, I honestly, if I can't be in the hospital, and if I can't do anything else, I'd rather just worry at home. Is that okay? And I looked at my brother and I was like, do you have this? Can you stay? And Michael, he's so awesome. He was like, yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it. You're good. Go. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Awesome. Sorry. And of course my dad came back with, well, you are a terrible daughter, but I love you. Because that's how we show affection in our family. No, it's fine. It was absolutely apropos and exactly what he should have said. So, first of all, I should tell you that my mom's COVID test came back negative. So this is not a breakthrough case situation, if that's what you're worried about when I said intubate earlier. Although it was nice to find out, because I realized, because like Dad mentioned when we were sitting in the deli, he said, well, if she's got it, I gave it to her because she never leaves the house anymore. So that means I've got it. And I'm like, and you and I have just spent hours in a car and hours talking across the table with each other. And if she does test positive, the three of us are going to have to do quarantine for 2 weeks. That'll be awesome. But eventually, no, the test came back negative, so we don't have to worry about that. So yay, one less thing. And eventually, much later that night, she did get admitted into the ICU, which is, I hate to use the word miraculous, but secularly, I mean miraculous. Like, because of the hospital situation here, it apparently the situation was dire enough that they put her in the ICU, but not the cardio ICU, the medical ICU. So it wasn't. We don't think it wasn't heart failure, but we don't know what it was yet. And that's where we're at. And it's just been the weirdest, most surreal couple of days. I worked from home today. I tried not to be distracted. I'm actually going to go back to work after I finish up with y'all because I still have stuff to do. But I can't say I wasn't distracted. I was. So I guess what I'm saying is, for the love of everyone you know and care about, please get vaccinated if you're not already. Please. Okay? I'm fully vaccinated. I'm fine. It's fine. You will be fine. And you have a 0.0001% chance of dying even if you're a breakthrough case and you catch the Delta strain or one of the other new strains that are happening because people aren't getting vaccinated. Now, we've lost about 1,400 people that way nationwide, but that's so much less than who we're losing among the unvaccinated in the U.S. Mississippi, just the other on the 12th, had over 4,000 new cases. They broke a new record. They broke a record from the beginning of the pandemic for new cases. So please, just, even if you're vaccinated, wear a mask in public. And if you're not vaccinated, get your ass vaccinated. What the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus. Wake up, get vaccinated, stop being lame, okay? Nevermore says, I've been fully vaccinated since June. Hell yeah, right on. That's good. That's good. All right, y'all. That's all I got in me. I'm sorry this was so short. I know it's been forever since you've even heard from me. I know my hair is undyed and unwashed and I look terrible, but it is what it is. You know, life is a lot right now. But yeah, other than that, go ahead, say stop being stupid. Okay, I will. Yeah, stop being stupid and get vaccinated, okay? It's just dumb. Stop it. I've got an aunt. No, she's not one of my aunts. I want to be very clear about that. My aunts are smart women. Love this woman to death. She's like a cousin once removed or something. She's the daughter of a great aunt of mine, whatever that makes me to her. I don't know. Your father's cousin's uncle's former roommate, something. Anyway, but she's not vaccinated. And when my aunt asked her, but don't you believe in science? She said, yes, but I believe in a different science. And I was like, okay, that's not believing in science, though, is the thing. That's making up your own shit and not having a self-correcting method. I'm related to these people. Okay. Love her to pieces. But I gotta tell you, in this situation, she's wrong. She's just wrong. The facts do not support. This isn't a matter of opinion, y'all. I know, Harmonica Man. I know. Exactly. We got horrified emoji from Nevermore, and we've got what from Harmonica Man. Yeah, exactly. A different science. The Marianne Williams story. Williamson story. Oh, thank you, darling. That was fantastic. Thank you. All right. Yeah, a different science. Because, you know, Have an aunt. Oh, hang on. Oh, Nevermore's in a similar situation. Oh my God. Hang on. What? Oh my God, this life. Okay. Have an aunt that won't get vaccinated. In her defense, she never went to school. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, no, my relative that won't get vaccinated is relatively educated. So yeah, it's unfortunate and disturbing. At least your aunt could claim ignorance of truly not understanding how vaccines work and being scared of them. In that case, I don't know. Maybe try to explain just some unsolicited advice. I have no idea. I've realized recently that all of my videos look like an unsolicited stealth commercial for Home Depot, because there's always it's on this side, Home Depot boxes everywhere. Okay. Well, on that note, yeah. I have another relative, someone I love very much. I'm not going to say who's not vaccinated, and I wasn't going to say anything, and finally I said something yesterday after going to the hospital and having this whole situation. And now that mom's in the ER, she is allowed one visitor, but it's only one family member per day. So we're all just kind of hovering around, giving dad priority unless he needs a break. And then if there's a day where he's not going to go see her and she's still there, depending on when she gets out, one of us will go up there and hang out with her. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Nevermore says everyone has tried, but she heard from someone she trusts, AKA a priest. Oh, fuck. That vaccines don't work. God damn it. I'm so sorry. And fuck that priest. Asshole. Harmonica Man says, I have 2 sisters. They won't get vaxxed either. Young Earth creationists. And at that and all that genius stuff. Excuse me. So sorry. That's allergies. Confirmed by my doctor. All right. Well, I'm starting to cough, so I'm gonna sign off. But man, Harmonica Man, I feel for your sisters. I'm sorry. I'm glad you're smarter. Junk Shop, thank you as always. Nevermore, so good to see you as always. And yeah. Oh, the priest? All right. Nevermore says he died from natural causes. Don't necessarily miss the guy. No, I wouldn't either. Sometimes the world's better off without a few people in it. That is not a call to any type of action, by the way. That is just a statement of fact. There's no salvaging that. I'm just going to stop there. But no, not a call to action. Just saying, some people make the world a better place. Not everyone does, unfortunately. Thank you for the well wishes, Nevermore. I appreciate it. All right, I'm going to start coughing again here in a second, so I'm going to sign off. Having said that, remember, you can't find truth in wine, but you can find it in reason. And tell your friends and family to get vaccinated. Bug them. Embarrass them. My dad has some buddies. They're veterans, man. They dodged bullets, and they're scared of a needle. And I said, use it. Use that toxic masculinity. Ask him if he's a chicken next time you see him. All right. Y'all take care. Love you. Be safe.